column, but the second column to the left,
with the little,
down almost all the way.
yeah, with the little print.
Yeah, with the very small writing.
I think I'm going to need a magnifying glass as well here.
Well, what I was thinking is you could have your character sheet on your computer zoomed in, no?
Yeah, probably could. Switch.
That's how I go back and forth to it. So, just so you know.
Ah, lovely roll. Not really.
What'd you get?
11.
11. Yeah, you heard it. He's a dwarf. He's not very subtle. He was trying to be subtle, but basically he spoke in like a regular halfling voice because, dwarves are loud and surly and obnoxious a lot of time. He's probably still drunk from the night before when you were singing and dancing for him and telling stories. At the foaming mugs, I believe is what I called it, which I'm going to have to write that down because I just made that up out of nowhere. So, you're good, right? So you're not one to get angry when people say things. And it's not like he said anything that mean. He just said that, you might need looking after. So do you say anything? Do you let it slide? Do you say like, I can handle my own or anything like that?
I'm going, everything's fine.
Okay.
We're going to have a good time.
Got it. Okay. So you're blowing it off like, no, there's no danger here. We're good. Okay. So then, sauntering up comes the largest of the party and also pretty darn scary looking. You see about 6'4" tall dragonborn barbarian. Yeah, who grunts in Susie's voice. I don't know if you heard that.
Is his voice that dainty?
Yeah, that's a little better. So as he walks up, Gundren says, here's the big guy of the lot. I picked him not necessarily for his skill, but for his brute. So, again, Dorn, you're the skilled fighter. But this guy, I'm pretty sure he can hold his own. He basically just growled. And so he's gonna, you don't actually need to ask about him. You already understand by the red sash and the way he's walking who he is or what group he's a part of. He has the walk of somebody who hasn't been on dry land in a long time. So he looks...
Can you tell me where the bathroom is?
You just peed on the ground.
Okay.
He turns to the side, not fully, and pees on the road. But you understand this guy to be a sailor. And not just any sailor, but a pirate sailor, due to the red sash. The red sash is specifically from a pirate crew that sails the southwestern waters. So he is he's further north than he normally is. So you're not necessarily sure why, but you're all slightly intimidated by him. Gundren's a dwarf who's not well off, but he's seen some things. He's been around a couple hundred years. So he's not super intimidated because he understands that at the end of the day, a pirate will respect the gold given to him. However, as a human seeing in Dragonborn, Dorn, you're probably a little caught off guard. He's
a very imposing figure.
Right, and your lawful good side of you is probably going to have some questions about the likelihood of him being in a party with you.
Mm-hmm.
You may be suspicious. I don't know. That's up to you. But he's definitely got some criminal element to him. Lyndall, you're a little less. You're less concerned about that because you basically play taverns, and so you have some friends who aren't exactly on the up and up.
Yeah, but I'll keep an eye out on him too.
Okay. All right. So you're keeping an eye on him. He doesn't really say much.
Arr.
He growls a little bit, and then so Gundren says, fella, pirate, sailor, of course. What's your name again? I need to know to fill out the receipt for the 10 gold you'll get in Phandelver. So what's your name again? And so he kind of growls in a guttural sense, and he says,
My name is.
actually, hold on, I accidentally closed that file. So he gutturally says to you, or to Gundren, and he actually bends down at the waist, fully bent over, right? And he goes, Jarnar. So you're really, it was hard to understand. It was almost a roar. So what did you think his name was? What are you going to call him?
Was it even common?
No, it's not necessarily a common name, but it is pronounceable. Although you're not really sure what he said, so.
Yeah, I'd have to ask him to repeat himself.
Jarnar.
Bernard.
Okay.
Still have no idea.
Yep. So.
We'll just call you big guy.
Right. So there you go. You've got a ragtag. You've got a giant guy who's also a dragon, which is weird, especially in this area. He's also a pirate, so slightly criminal element. Got a little guy who's sing-songy and, life is great. Like, I don't know. I picture,
Hey.
yeah, like Papa Smurf almost, or like, the one who sings and dances and stuff.
Hey.
Slightly less blue, obviously, because halflings aren't blue. Now, why don't you describe each of you what you're wearing? So the barbarian is literally wearing no shirt. He has a red sash around his waist, and he has like dirty canvas, kind of white, almost like, you know what it is? It's sail material. Basically, he took a torn up sail from a ship and he created pants with it, because probably his last pair of pants actually was probably the same thing from a different boat. But whenever his pants get ripped or, he rages out of them, he basically creates a new one out of the sails of ships that he's sacked with his pirate group. And you can understand exactly what it is because, you're in a port city of Neverwinter. It's not like sail material is, it's not like it's fine silk that you've never seen before. It's not something that came from his homeland. It's very common. It's got that like salt encrusted look to it. So it almost looks like he may have urinated himself a few times. But as you know, he just peed on the sidewalk or on the street. So, it probably isn't urine, maybe. You're not sure though. And then he's got leather boots on, not extremely nice leather boots, not extremely ratty leather boots. It looks like he found somebody who was able to, that were able to fit his dragon feet and just kind of stole their boots. So, Dorn, what do you look like?
I am mostly dressed in chainmail with a shield, a sword on my hip, and a mace on my hip, with my holy symbol around my neck, just sort of hanging out in front of the chainmail, and the chainmail is held together by straps of worn red leather.
Okay. Cool. Dad, how about yourself? Or tea leaf or Lindal? Lindal?
No. Well, I tell you what, like most entertainers, we try to make sure that we look good. Now, I'm wearing, and if you know your major entertainers, you might think about MC Hammer. You ever gone to one of his shows? Nice guy.
Never heard of him in Faerun, but okay.
Ah,
Does he have giant hammers?
nah. But I've got a nice blue and green set of puffy pants, all made out of silk, the best silk around. And I have a nice loose-fitting shirt over the top of that, although you can see a few things that seem to be hiding underneath that shirt. Now, some of these are my tools of the trade. I have a flute. I have a drum. But at the same time, there might be a short sword under there, or other things that will keep me from being taken advantage of. Although no one ever wants to take advantage of Lindell, because Lindell is the tea leaf of tea leaves.
Got it. Okay. Okay, so I had grabbed some artwork online, and this is the best I could sort of come up with. Are you guys on the new page now?
Yep.
Okay. So the Dragonborn is in the top right, obviously. So you see that his pants aren't exactly fully covering. They're like breeches almost, shorts kind of. They cover enough, but you know he's a barbarian pirate. He doesn't really care much for the clothing. And then you've got the sleeping beauty, if you will, female dwarf who actually has a beard. If you zoom in nice and close, she has like lamb chops beard. Although it's very fine, it's combed nicely. You can tell this isn't like this isn't like an underground dwarf, which is kind of weird to you guys. You're like, we know guys like Gundren, you know, Rockseeker. He's a normal dwarf. He's your basic surly, kind of dirty, probably hasn't bathed in a couple weeks dwarf. Underground, he's got like the soot-covered hands and soot on his chest where it's, you know, his shirt's open. And then you've got Lindell's character, which isn't perfect to what you described, but as you can see, he definitely does have his accoutrement of instruments along with maybe a knife or two, and you know, maybe he has more that he doesn't let on about. And then you have Marty's clip art character, which unfortunately was the best I could find, and he's going to have to help me figure out a better way to get some better art for him. Maybe he's got an artist friend or something.
I can find something.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, sorry, I just got coffee grounds all in my mouth.
See, the problem I find with searching for images of human paladins, they're all dressed up in the way that I would like to be at a higher level.
Yeah, eventually you'll have plate armor.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. That was gross. I just had like half an inch of coffee grounds in the bottom of my cup.
Oh, gross.
I blame Susie.
I blame Susie too.
Exactly.
Marty!
He's mad at you.
Baby.
His baby, yeah, exactly.
That's better.
All right. So, you know, now you know how the party is. How do you expect that you will be walking along the road?
I would expect that I would probably be in front, being attentive to the surroundings and looking for ambushes, given my past history.
Okay. Yep.
I actually think I'll be everywhere except in front and back.
Everywhere except in front and back. So do you think you'd be riding on the cart since your legs are shorter?
That's a fair possibility, but there's lots of time to jump off, do a little dance,
Okay.
maybe make a little love.
Okay.
Get down tonight.
Yeah, get down tonight. Got it. Okay.
I'm
And
Paul. I'll be sleeping on the cart.
no, Paul's not sleeping in the car.
I thought he is not.
Oh yeah, Paul is sleeping, but Dan's not. And you're playing Dan, not Paul. Which, by the way, now would be your time to come into the story.
Arr.
Okay, so the Dragonborn is going to be behind you, Marty, sort of off to the left of the cart. And so Lindell is going to be along the side of the cart. The whatchamacallit, the bearded female dwarf is sleeping on top of the cart. So that's where she will be. And then you'll be riding around. Sorry, I don't fully understand how to change something on this, on the next page that we're going to. Yeah, okay. Got it. Okay. All right. So now as we're moving down, this is what it sort of looks like. Can you guys see that?
Yep.
So you're on the road. You've got a two horse cart, a cart pulled by two horses. Not sure how that should be said. And you're just going along the road. Now, you know that you've taken a left off of the high road, off of the good road. And so you're all a little bit more, not on edge, but just aware. So I would like you guys to make a perception roll. So roll a 20-sided die and add your perception. So Dad, for you, that was a 2 again. And Marty, we hadn't filled yours out fully, but you were...
I have a
Wisdom is +2, plus you were perceptive, proficient in perception, so you're a +4. Okay. Sound right?
Yep.
Okay.
And wonderful rolls begin.
Yes. And that's total of an 8.
It's a total of an 8.
Got it. Did Lindell roll a 21?
Lindell rolled a 21.
Okay. So Lindell then sees ahead in the road what looks to be 2 dead horses. I'm going to actually, let me roll a quick D20 for, okay. For the barbarian, he got a 14. Okay, so basically, because of Lindell's perception and Tadar's perception, which he doesn't communicate to you guys, you realize that there is this is what you end up seeing. Although Marty's gonna act last because he didn't see anything. So this is a surprise round actually for Lindahl. So what you see is the horses up ahead, and you see 2 goblins right alongside the road. Can you guys see the goblins?
Nope.
Nope. Okay.
Horses,
You see the horses, but not the goblins? Okay.
goblins. But if goblins look anything special?
Yeah, I'm going to... there's one here and one here. Do you see them? Or is that enough?
No, don't really see them. I see a little spot. It's like there's a small little line
Got it.
in the middle of the.
Okay.
That's about it.
Okay. Okay. Oop. Hang on. Layer. How about now?
Ah,
I see one.
One of them? Okay.
I see two.
Ah.
Okay. So, Dorn, you do not see these. Okay? At this moment, you don't see them.
Mhm.
So, Lindahl, being goodly and communicative. So, Dorn, what you see is you see the horses straight ahead. Yeah. You're a little concerned.
Damn, those goblins are blending in with the trees.
Right. You are ahead. So let's roll another D20, each of you.
D20 plus anything or just a straight D20?
Just a straight D20.
Jesus. Another 4.
Okay. So
Are we using weighted dice?
no, but okay. So the Dragonborn is going to go first out of all of you, and then hang on. I have to figure out how to roll these die again. What did I write? Like /GM. All right, I apologize for this. It's /GM roll. Got it. Okay. Okay. So we've got okay. So what is going to happen now is you guys got a 4 and a 3, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, pretty lousy.
It's all right. So we've got. I'm trying to figure out this turn order stuff. Okay, so can you guys see the turn order?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, and so it's got you both on it?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay. Hang on just a second. Really weird. Why can't I do this? How do I add somebody to that? I apologize. This is. Oh, there we go. Got it.
Okay, cool. It when you mouse over the characters in the turn order, it highlights the person on the map.
Okay. Okay. All right. So does everybody see the turn order now?
Yep.
Does 943?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. So what is going to happen now is the Dragonborn pirate is going to just charge. And you guys don't know. Well, Lyndall knows where he understands where he's going. Yeah, exactly. So he's going to charge. How did you do that?
How did I do that?
Yeah, did you just do that?
Are you seeing the ruler?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the ruler option on your toolbar where it has the
Oh.
select. Yep.
Got it. Okay. So he is going to move himself to here. And then let me see if he has any ability to do anything extra after that. Don't know if he will. Okay, so as a bonus action to his movement, he is going to go into a rage. And so now, Dorn, you see in front of him the goblin that he is attacking. He just couldn't get there.
Mm-hmm.
I think because I believe his movement is 30. Let me just double check.
That's typical speed.
Yep. Base speed is 30. He could have gotten a little bit further if he had decided to do a double run, but that would have just taken him out of, he would have been there and not been able to do anything extra. So now it's Dorn's turn. So you see that he's running forward. You actually do not see the goblin. You saw him just run straight ahead past you, almost spinning you around, which is why your perception was so low on this. He spotted something, and it was like a dog spotting a squirrel, and literally you were paying attention, but you weren't focused on behind you. So as he ran past you, he clipped your arm, spun you around, and this is why your perception is so bad, and all you can see is
dead horses
in front of you where the dead horses are. So you think maybe he's running towards the dead horses. You're not sure.
Okay.
What?
Oh, let's see. I'm going to follow behind him, but not essentially right behind him.
Okay.
Halfway between not knowing what's coming or what he's doing. Stay close to the cart, which is our charge, but also try and keep an eye on him.
Yeah. Okay.
So I guess right. I don't have the ability to put right there yet.
There. I think you actually might have the ability if you click on the arrow at the top to the select move.
Oh,
No.
Select move.
Does it allow you to click on them?
No, it's just
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
That's fine. So you just point where you want to go, and then I'll move it for you, and then.
Sure.
Okay. So at this point, you've only done your move.
Yep.
You have an action and a bonus action available to you. You
Uh,
don't see anybody to fight.
as a bonus action, I will. Let me just read this real quick again. Alright, that's not going to help. It's going to cast Divine Sense, but it says, the type Celestial Fiend or Undead. So
Right. You could cast it.
I could cast it, and in fact, I probably would.
Okay.
Um,
You cast it.
Yep, I'll cast Divine Sense.
Nothing happens. You have no sense.
Yeah, I'm senseless.
of any divine beings. You understand that there are no fiends around. You understand
Yeah.
there are no.
It says the presence of strong evil registers on your senses like a noxious odor.
Well, then yes, you do sense that. You also smell dead horses, so it could be that.
Could be that.
I mean, but goblins. So you don't know it yet, but they're goblins. Okay.
Yep.
Goblins are inherently evil. Goblins are like ogres, giant kind. They are not for the good of humanity in any way, shape, or form. Killing a goblin is like getting rid of a, invasive species of fish that's destroying the wildlife in a river, right? It's not a bad thing. They literally, all they do is cause chaos. They try to pick on weaker things. They rove in bands. They're all about themselves. So yes, you do sense evil because they are an evil creature. It's not an incredible evil though. Your spidey senses are like, oh man, those horses, they smell dead. And
those are some dead horses.
There's something else there. I'm not 100% sure what it is. So at this point, it is Lyndall's turn.
Yep.
What do? You see both goblins ahead of you.
Right.
You perceive that Dorn may not be as smart as he let on. May not be figuring out that there's danger ahead. You have a pretty good idea that the Dragonborn sniffed out the rotten-smelling goblin and is heading straight at one of them. Your movement, I believe, is 30 feet also. Even though you have little legs, I still think you get 30. You might only get 25 feet, actually. But I will find out shortly.
Is that speed?
Speed, right. So, yeah.
25.
25, yeah. So you can move basically 5 squares. And did you see the little ruler thing in that toolbar that Marty was using? Yep. So you can do that. Now remember, you also have a short bow, which you can shoot, or a dagger, which you can throw, which would be like an action. Then you would also have a bonus action, which, at this point, so early in the game, and obviously since, you haven't played before, you could utilize your bonus action to yell to Dorn, to tell him, hey, dummy, there's 2 goblins up there.
Oh, goblins.
Okay. So I think that I don't want to get in the front lines.
Okay.
I don't want to get close enough to my players, help them out.
Okay.
They will go to from here to here.
Okay.
So how do I? Okay. And then I'll use my other action to warn my friends that there are goblins on the lookout.
Trouble is
And
afoot.
they are basically where they are.
Okay. Marty, do a D20. Perception. So +4, right?
+4. Go.
Yeah, you see him now.
Okay.
You're like, oh,
Oh, those guys. Yeah.
got it. I knew I smelled something. All right, so that was your bonus action. You still have an action. So your total like each turn of yours, Dad, will have 3 things. It'll have a move, an action, and a bonus action. You can do them in any order. You've already moved and you've already used your bonus action, so you can use your regular action now, which an attack is a regular action.
Okay.
Like
Now-
if you had spells, which you are a bard, so at first level you have bardic inspiration, which is you can inspire others through stirring words or music. To do so, you use 1 bonus action, which it's a bonus action, and you already used your bonus action, but you could utilize your regular action. And give it, and that creature gains a bardic inspiration die of a d6, which they can use at any time. So once within the next 10 minutes, the creature can roll the die and add the number rolled to an ability check, attack roll, or saving throw it makes. The creature can wait until after it rolls the d20 before deciding to use the bardic inspiration, but must decide before the DM says whether the roll succeeds or fails. Once the bardic inspiration die is rolled, it is lost. A creature can have only 1 bardic inspiration die at a time. So you have that. Yeah, you have that. And that is...
Okay. So
you also know 4 spells from a bard list, which probably should have gone over this in advance. Wait, are you a bard or are you a rogue?
I am a rogue.
So never mind, you don't have that. I don't know why I thought you were a bard. My bad. So you don't have spells. You don't have bardic inspiration.
Yeah.
I was wrong. That was my bad.
Yeah,
If you ever want to play a bard, that's what happens.
Uh-huh. Okay. So at this point, I can take an action.
Yes.
And now, am I within range for a short bow?
Take a look. What's the which one are you trying to shoot at? Utilize the ruler.
You were in range back at the cart.
25 feet.
I think a bow has 60 feet.
Okay, so I've got 25 feet.
Yeah, then you're within range.
And so in terms of the game, is there any reason why I shouldn't just take a shot?
I'd say go for it.
Other than your character, like unless you feel like your character's a pussy, which you could play it that way, and you could play it scared the whole time and always be like the last person to act anyway, and like wait to see if they're going to attack. Maybe they're good, maybe they're not going to attack you, but you're pretty sure there's 2 dead horses ahead. And even if there weren't 2 dead horses, the Dragonborn is already launching himself at one of them. So realistically, you kind of understand, especially with your perception. Yeah, you got a 21 in perception. You know these are bad goblins. They are there to ambush you. They're there to mess you up. You holding your action would literally be just because you wanted somebody else to go first, which, if you were closer to them, would give you sneak attack damage. Because you're a rogue, like I think that you get sneak attack early on.
Well, and if he's flanking somebody who's already engaged another character, he automatically gets
right.
sneak
Yeah,
attack
if
bonus.
somebody, yeah, but right now nobody is flanking anybody because they're
Correct.
too far away.
Yeah. So it seems like I should just take the action and try to pick off this guy with my short bow.
Okay, which one?
Sure.
Okay. So you're going to roll a...
What, D20 plus Dex modifier?
yeah, exactly.
What?
So you're going to do D20 plus 4.
Okay.
Heyo. I believe it's short bow, so that's great.
Yeah, so that's... What's that, Marty?
I believe with a short bow, that is a crit. Oh, no.
No.
Sorry, he didn't roll a 19.
It would have to be a natural.
Sorry.
Yeah. It's okay. And actually, I don't know if it's crit yet at his level. I think a 20 is a crit.
That may be true.
I think you have to like level up. I will have to look at it, but either way, that's a hit though. So now you're going to roll your damage die, which is, I believe, the D6.
Okay, just let me check this. That's the thing with the rapier, right? Or the short bow. The ATK bonus?
Yes. Yeah. So that's attack bonus. So you roll 1d6 plus 2.
Okay, so D6 plus 2. Okay.
Yep.
Not bad rolls.
Okay. So you scored 5 damage, and you notice immediately that your arrow strikes home dead center. You know, if it was 2 inches to the right, it would hit a heart. If goblins have hearts where humans have hearts, which they do because it's a humanoid. So you hit him straight. Like, he's got some leather armor on, but your arrow is halfway gone into his body. It just shredded through that leather armor. You're like, did he use like leather that was from 200 years ago to make that armor? You're really confused because, you know, you can do some damage, but you're pretty sure your arrow almost did a through and through. Like, there's only the feathers sticking out, and it went right into his sternum. And you know there's like a bone there, so like your arrow just boom, right? He's still alive though. And so this is this guy here. I don't know if this works. No, I don't know. All right. Hang on. Let me try to figure out something in order to we're going to put. All right. I was trying to maybe write down which one it is, but that's okay. It's fine. No worries. Okay. So you've got that guy. He is bloodied, which means you have taken half of his hit points at least. So he is, you know, he is less than half life, and you know you just hit him for 5 damage. So you know that the most he could have had was 10 hit points total, and you're sitting over here whistling a tune, happy to go about your business. And now Dorn really understands where they are because A, you yelled and told him where they were. B, you shot an arrow pretty much right by him. Dorn's getting a little worried about his left side because first the Dragonborn guy spun him around and then an arrow slung by right there. So, you know, it's okay. No worries. So at this time, we've got 2 more guys to go. So that was your first turn. We've got add turn. Add turn. Okay, so guy got a 17. This guy got an 11. And so it is back up to the start of the initiative order, which means the goblins go. So this guy, yes, this guy, the one in front of Dorn, not Dorn, the pirate, Dragonborn pirate, he is going to move forward. and attack the Dragonborn with his scimitar. Sorry. When he does that, he's going to roll a... So he's going to get his melee weapon, scimitar, D20 plus 4. You got a 16. And the barbarian. All right, his thing isn't fully filled out. If he's not wearing any armor, he's
Armor class 10.
Armor class 10. So even if he's raging,
He's
he's still gonna get hit by this, right?
Actually, I think it's even worse when he's raging. But he's at armor class 10 plus dexterity bonus.
Yeah, so he gets hit by this. And so it is a... All right, so he's moved 5 feet. He then takes a hit of a 1d6 plus 2. Okay, and so the barbarian goes down by 4. Which, beginning hit points are 15 for the barbarian. So you guys see the barbarian get hit. Not too bad. I mean, it's a decent slice, but it's not too bad. Now, for a bonus action, the goblin is going to disengage and move an additional 25 feet away because he moved forward 1 and now he's going to move away 25 feet. So he is going to move. He's not a stupid goblin. He knows that if he's behind his buddy...
Is disengage an ability of theirs?
Yeah. Disengage is a bonus action for a goblin.
I'm guessing it prevents attacks of opportunity.
Exactly. So, So, Dad, basically, disengage is a bonus action for a goblin that they have inherently. As a rogue, you'll be able to pick it up in the future, but not at this level. What it does is you're able to move away from a character that you're in melee action with prior to them hitting you. Now, if you don't have the disengage option, they will get what's called an attack of opportunity on you. So as you're turning to run away, they see this, and even though it's not their turn, they get to swing 1 melee hit on you. Okay. They can't use a bow. They can't throw. They have to use a melee hit. But it's pretty much, it basically forces you to stay in combat with people rather than just running away every turn. But these goblins, they're a little sneaky, so they did that. Second goblin, he sees what his friend just did, and he is going to go 1, 2. He realizes that his friend just kind of left him out to dry. And he also realizes that he is badly injured. And he is going to take out a short bow and attack the barbarian as well, which is a D20 plus a D20 no, plus 4. Yeah, it's also a D20 plus 4. Oh, yeah. Hits him as well. And then he gets a 1d6 plus 2. Oof.
Oh, ouch.
So the barbarian takes max damage on that one. And you can see now he's bloodied and not feeling good at whatsoever.
Actually, hold on a second. He's raging, right?
What?
He's raging, right?
Yeah.
Because I believe he takes half damage from certain types of attacks.
Yeah, I think you're right. Good call. Good call.
Which means he might actually be for 6 points more HP, potentially. I can't remember if it includes piercing or not.
Yeah, it does. So it's
So he would take 2 from the first attack and then 4 from the second attack.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So he's not bloodied yet, but you can see he's gotten hit twice now. So now
he can get in range.
Well, you would think so. But there's 2 more guys that have to go.
Oh, yeah. Well, it is an ambush.
It is an ambush. That is correct. If I can find these guys. Oh, I forget how I did this. Sorry, it's... Okay, all right. Why is this happening? There we go. Okay. All right, so now at this point, you realize that there was a little bit more going on than originally met the eye, and 2 archers pop up. Okay, this doesn't happen yet. My apologies. You're right, though. Dinar does get his move. But this guy, one second. The injured one uses his, since he's not engaged with anyone, he disappears.
Oh, awesome. Awesome sauce.
Right. Did you see that? That was cool.
See what?
No, you didn't see it? Okay. Like,
I saw him disappear.
no, do you see, like, when I hold down the button, do you see a circle popping up on your screen? No? Yeah, that's weird.
Oh, we can probably get rid of these green boxes now.
Yeah, I was.
If you use the select tool to select them, you can just delete key.
Really? Hmm. No, that's not working for me. What is going on? Why? Are you sure you want to delete all the drawings, text, images, Mario? Yes, I do. Okay. I can't figure out why this is like this. Nope. Okay, I can't figure out why this is
It's fine. It's not really a big deal.
yeah, still annoying though. Okay, so it is the Dragonborn's turn, and the only person he can see is this guy, and he goes and attacks him. He's gonna stand right there. Pop. And he attacks, and therefore, in battle, he fights with a primal ferocity. On his turn, he can enter rage, which he already did. While raging, he gains the following benefits. Advantage on strength stuff. Making a melee attack using strength, you gain a bonus to the damage roll that increases as you gain levels as a barbarian, as shown in the rage damage column of the barbarian table, which I don't see. +2. All right, so he gets +2 on his damage. Okay. Okay, so he is going to utilize his greatsword, which is sorry guys, this is
Nope.
his
Take time.
character sheet isn't fully up to date.
Lay down, Lexi. Lay down. Lay down.
Okay, so it's a great sword, which is 2d6 of slashing for the damage. Okay. So he's going to roll a d20, and it's plus his strength, right?
Yes.
Rogue melee, so +4. D20 +4. And he got a 9, and he wildly misses. He sticks his greatsword into the ground. And this is now the time that the two other goblins that I told you about already attack him. So This is crazy. Can't add a turn to this guy at the top because he's too far out of the picture. Okay, so we've got 45 feet and 30 feet. Yep. So they're both going to take a short bow to attack him because they realize so far he's the one who looks the scariest at this point. No offense to you guys, but they both shoot 2d20 plus 4s, so I'm just going to roll for both of them. Roll. Oh, one of them critted. And the other got a 14, which just ekes out his damage. So then we get 1d6 plus 2 for the small roll, which is a total of 6, but he only takes 3. And then the crit is double damage, right?
Was he using short bow?
Yeah.
It's times 3.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Why?
I have no idea, but that's what the let's see, where is it? Looking at the compendium. Oh, short bow. Short bow.
That seems...
Short bow. Oh, it doesn't have the crit value. That's just silly. I looked it up on.
It's all right. I got it. It's page 196 of my handbook. When the square hit, you to roll extra dice for the attack's damage against target. Roll all of the attack's damage twice and add them together. Then add any relevant modifiers as normal. To speed up play, you can roll all the damage dice at once. For example, you get... Yeah, so it's just double.
Okay.
Double the damage die. So
the page
instead of 1...
The page I was looking at was for 3.5, not 5.
I got it. All right, so then it's a 9, which goes down to 5, right?
Yes.
Okay, so he's very bloodied now, and he kind of staggers and falls to one knee. He's not out, but he's close. And now... Now it is Dorn's turn.
Okay. I feel like he's in trouble. Let's see. I'd like to be swinging my sword, but unfortunately, I have to play.
That's what life's all about, baby. Swing your sword.
Swing that sword. I'll go there. Let's see. Oh. Fortunately, lay on hands is not a bonus action. Well, let's do this. Lay on hands is going to 5 HP. I'll move right in front of him. So the one square above.
Okay. Got it.
And I think I'm going to. I think I'm going to have to try and attack. We got to send out these numbers.
Okay.
So I am going to make an attack on the guy to the right with my longsword.
Okay.
13, go. Jesus Christ, really?
Your sword sticks into the ground right next to the great sword.
Yeah, apparently.
Yeah.
Oh, that's about all I got.
Okay. Lindahl,
Yeah.
you see that the two oafs in front of you don't know how to use their swords. And it turns out that you are protecting them. And you think to yourself, you're going to actually have to talk to Gundar Rockseeker about this because he kind of made fun of you.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you do?
These rolls are terrible.
Well, so I get 2 moves and a bonus move? Is that what it is?
You get one move,
Yeah.
one action, and a bonus action.
Okay. Well,
At this point, because you're a rogue, and because you're level 1 rogue, you can attack that guy that they are attacking and get a sneak attack, which what happens with that is the amount of extra damage increases as you gain levels. So you get, if you hit him, your sneak attack is a 1d6 in addition to your whatever you're already doing. So
and is a sneak attack have to be a melee, or can I use a short bow in a sneak attack?
yes, you can.
Okay.
It has to use a finesse or a ranged weapon.
Oh, okay.
So ranged weapon would be your short bow. You are going to need to move, though, in order to hit him because you have 2 big oafs in your way.
Oh, okay. And I can shoot through the trees, basically?
Yeah, I would say you can definitely hit through the trees, but you cannot shoot through the characters.
This is tough.
I'd give you that if you were there. I would say that you'd be able to get around it because he's technically over.
But that's 30. So I can only get to here.
Yeah, I would say that in that row,
Yeah.
you would be aiming to the right of them, so you would be able to hit them.
Okay.
So like if you went right there, you should be
Yeah.
okay.
I'll move here.
Okay, so where are you going?
Hold on a second. I have 60 feet, right?
You do, yeah. But you only get sneak attack on the guy that they're next to.
Yeah. Okay. So I think I'll move to here.
To here?
Yep.
Okay.
And then do a short bow sneak attack to there.
Okay, so that's the D20 plus 4, I think?
Yeah.
There.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because it was plus your dex.
Anything else?
Nope. +4. D20 +4.
Not even-
You missed.
ah,
So a 13 misses, just so that everybody knows, because that was the highest of the misses, I think,
Mm-hmm.
we've had. So,
okay.
um,
I get a bonus action.
yes.
So I suppose I'll try to use my short bow again. Same time.
That's an action. That's not a bonus action.
Oh, what's a bonus action then?
Currently, you don't really have anything. Like, you could hide, I think, because you're a rogue,
Mm-hmm.
but not much else.
Yeah,
Like,
it's usually mundane things like speaking or shouting
Right.
or any sort of ability that is specifically labeled as a bonus action.
Okay. And hiding does what?
basically, you would just disappear from the battlefield, and the goblins would have to utilize a action of perceiving you in order to attack you.
Okay, so I get to lie.
Okay. Just roll a d20 +4 for dexterity.
Hello. That's a good roll.
Yeah, you're hidden.
Okay.
Okay, so we're back to the goblin right next to you guys, who is going to attack the barbarian again. So he's going to roll a d20 +4. An action, yeah, d20 +4. Yep, hits him.
Jesus Christ. The DM,
Yep.
DM's getting all the good rolls.
Hey, listen. And then that's another 4 points. The barbarian falls.
So 2.
The barbarian falls. Now, neither of you have been hit yet, right?
I have not been hit yet, no.
Right. So, barbarian is down. You guys have a feeling that somebody else, like the guy who hid, should go. But this guy is going to disengage. And then he's going to go just 30 feet up the road. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 spots up. So he disengaged from Dorn and just tried to run away. You feel like there's somebody around you, Dorn, and Lindell, but you're not sure where. Like, you know a guy hid, but you also know he was very wounded, so you're not sure what's going on. You would have expected an attack from him now, but nothing happens. And then it is the Dragonborn's turn, where he just rolls a straight d20. And he succeeds a death save.
There's 1.
What?
So there's 1.
Yeah. Oh, I thought you said it was a 1. I'm like, did I read it wrong? No, he didn't critically fail. He's not dead already. That would be bad. So, death save. Right? Save. There. 1 for a save. Okay. So, Dad, basically, when you're knocked out of hit points, like the barbarian was, you fall to the ground unconscious, and you have 3 turns to make a death saving throw, which is just a d20, no modifier. If you get a 10 or higher, you save.
Yeah.
You have to make 3 of those saves in order to stay alive.
If you fail 3,
If you
you dead.
Yeah, if you fail 3, you're dead. If somebody attacks you while you're unconscious, it's an automatic death fail because basically you can't defend. It's an automatic hit. They don't even have to roll for it. There's no damage. It's just an automatic death fail. And then so you have 1 less opportunity basically to save yourself. And then somebody else in your party can come along and save you, though, no problem. But that just has to, that actually has to occur in order for it to happen.
Mhm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. So then next, it's actually the 2 archers who now are going to take aim with the guy with the most armor on. So they can both see Dorn. Straight shots. So they're going to roll. They roll the D20 plus 4 because they're short bows. 1 misses. You don't even realize he shot it at you. It was so far off, and so does the other. So both goblins miss. It is now your turn, Dorn.
Okay. I would stabilize him, but I kind of feel like they just use him as cannon fodder. And considering he's a...
You also you have an understanding of goblins. They're not super brave and they're not super smart.
Mm-hmm.
So they're probably not going to come after the guy who's already dead because he's not
a threat.
Not a threat right now. They're not smart enough to be like, oh, let me kill him off for good. You think like you fought goblins before. They're not the guys who ambushed you and left you for dead. Like these are what you've taken care of a lot in the past. So you're kind of you feel all right with that.
I am going to move to the right side of this guy.
Okay. Gotcha.
And I am going to, yet again, make a hopefully not shitty roll.
Okay.
For an attack of my longsword. Go.
Okay.
14.
You missed again.
Whoop.
Okay. So anything else?
Nope, that's all I got right now.
Okay. Lindahl?
Okay. Looks like I'll move to there.
Where are you moving?
Right here. You see my
No. Oh, yeah. Okay. That's 40 feet away, though. So you want it here?
Yeah.
That's 25. Okay.
And then I'll take my short bow and up below 60.
What?
Let's
Yeah,
make,
yeah, you're close enough. You're good.
okay.
You could probably hit anything on this map at this point.
So I'll go after him.
Okay.
So that's what, 1d20 plus 4?
Yep.
I would say that's a hit.
Yep.
I hope I hit him.
If you didn't hit him with a 22, we're in trouble.
Yeah, if a 22 was the armor class, that would be a little awkward. So then roll your damage,
Oh, okay.
which is the 1d6. I want to wait, is it no, it's 2d6 plus 2, I think, right? Or is it plus 4?
I think it's plus his dex bonus.
The short bow.
Hold on.
1d6 plus 2 normally.
Right, so then you would add an extra d6, so it's 2d6 plus 2.
Now, why am I adding it?
Sneak attack, because Marty's next to the character.
Oh, okay.
So if one of your characters is within 5 feet of another character, which means 1 square away,
Yeah.
they're within sneak attack damage. So once per turn, so basically in the future, you'll be able to, as a rogue, have multiple attacks per turn. It's just at this level, you only have the 1 attack. So like going forward in the future, when you're like level 10 or whatever, you'll have 2 attacks. You can only use sneak attack on the first attack of the. Does that make sense?
Yeah. 2d6 plus 2.
Got it.
Oh. Sucks. What did they get? 2 1s?
2 2s.
Oh, okay.
Okay. That is the top guy. Okay, so he is. Okay, so he is. That was a 6 damage. Okay, he staggers to a knee, but he's still up, barely coughing blood. Like you got this guy in almost the same spot as the other guy, but you think you pierced a lung.
Okay.
He's like, all right. So he is messed up. So at this time, you guys don't notice this. Well, both of you roll a d20 perception check for me.
Okay.
You said perception.
Yeah. So Dad, add a +2.
Oh.
D20
Oh,
plus.
I'm good. D20 plus 2?
So you got a 19. Yeah. So you notice what's happening behind you. Marty, so do you. You both notice that the the Sleeping Beauty dwarf has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 moved up, and she is within 60 feet of the whatchamacallit, the pirate. And she casts Healing Word as a bonus action, which will get a 1d4 plus spell modifier. The modifier currently is plus, I don't know. Marty, how do I know a spell modifier? Do you know?
Usually the spell will tell you what stat the modifier is based on.
1d4 plus your spell casting ability modifier. So this is
A druid, so could be wisdom or intelligence. 1 second.
spell casting, drawing the divine, blah blah blah. It's proficiency bonus plus wisdom modifier, so that would be 2 plus. His wisdom is 2 plus wisdom. 2 plus 2 is 4, so a d4 plus 4.
Sounds about right.
Yeah. Okay, so the barbarian is back up with 5 points. Okay, so you guys all notice this because she kind of yawns as she's kind of healing word.
Oh, I guess I should do something now.
Scratching
Ignore
her
her.
beard, her mutton chops. Okay. Then it is... Okay. So she is going to take a 1 in the
Order.
turn order. So she's going to go last out of everybody, just so you know. Now it is back to the goblin next to Dorn, who is very hurt. And he is going to do his attack roll on Dorn, which is a d20 plus 4 for his scimitar attack. 22.
That hits.
22. Look at the loosh. 1d6 plus 2. You take 4 damage. Okay. He is then going to disengage.
Fuck that disengage.
Huh?
I said fuck that disengage.
Yeah. And he is just going to run behind the horses here, which is going to give him half coverage. So what that means is you guys have disadvantage on ranged attacks. So, Dad, if you try to shoot him from there, he has half coverage, so you have to roll 2 d20s and take the lower of the 2 numbers.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay. Next. Okay. Yeah. So the guy who you saw, or who Lindahl had hit first with the arrow, but who didn't attack last turn, he's going to come back into the game. And he is going to realize that the barbarian got back up, but he still looks really damaged. So he is going to shoot his bow. And you see him now, where he's at on the map?
Yep.
Dad, you see that? Dad,
I'm not sure. I see.
right. The yellow square.
No.
You don't see a yellow square? Marty, is it showing up for you when I highlight it?
If he mouses over the 11 goblin, he'll see the yellow square.
Yeah. So do you have the turn order button up, Dad?
Yeah.
Okay, so if you just scroll over the 11,
Okay. Let's see.
you see where he is?
Yep.
Okay. So he's going to short bow. the barbarian, and he misses wide by a lot.
Quite a bit.
Yeah, Dorn, you actually see the arrow go by you as well, but it's just
The fuck?
you know he wasn't aiming for you, but you see the arrow because it was that far off of a shot. So then he is actually going to take his action to hide again, and then he's going to move. Why can't I touch him? Let's go.
Is hide a bonus action?
It is. Hide and disengage are both bonus actions.
That's bullshit.
Why can't I? All right, what is going on? Sorry. I got to get used to this. Okay, so then we are at the barbarian's turn. He gets up, staggers a bit, doesn't see the guy who just hid. He does, however, see the guy across the road from him, and he can get to him. He's not as dumb as he looks, and he's going to make sure that he gets to a point that is good for the archer, the rogue, so that he knows he's not in the way. And he puts himself right here. Okay? So, Lindahl, you'll be able to still shoot this guy if he's still alive after the barbarian attacks. The barbarian does attack now with his D20 plus... What did we say it was?
It's his proficiency bonus plus ability modifier.
And the ability modifier is the strength?
That would, yes.
For a greatsword, so it's a +6?
Yep. I was just looking at that because I was wondering if the proficiency bonus was part of the attack roll, and it on the...
So you guys should have been adding an additional plus then.
Yeah, +2. So
No wonder you're missing so much.
my 14 would have been well, some of those rolls
Yeah.
were just complete shit. My
Right.
14 would have been a 60.
Listen, you have 2 out of 4 bloodied, and you have all members of the party still alive currently.
Well, that's mostly thanks to your father, because he seems to be the only one able to hit anything.
Well, and the sleepy dwarf,
Yes,
who we're going to nickname Sleepy from now on. All right, so it's a D20 plus 6?
Yep, if strength modifier, I'm assuming, is at least
Plus
+4,
4.
and then the
Yeah,
proficiency
+4.
bonus, and then whatever modifications that the weapon provides. But at this point, that's probably 0.
Yeah, so he hits. And he rolls his damage, which is 2d6 for the damage. No plus, though. Although he is raging.
Well, he gets +4 for his strength.
Yeah?
Yep.
Well, he gets +4 to hit, right? But not
he
to
gets
the damage.
+4 to hit and damage.
Well, when you make a melee weapon attack, you gain a bonus to the damage roll that increases as you gain levels as a barbarian, as shown in the rage damage column of the barbarian. So he gets +2 rage damage. So I don't see it as, I don't think he does get the strength modifier because it doesn't say so on the weapon. It's just a 2d6. It's not a 2d6 plus anything. You know? Yeah, I'm gonna look.
Each weapon, spell, and harmful monster ability specifies the damage it deals. You roll the when attacking with a weapon, you add your ability modifier, the same modifier used in the attack roll, to the damage.
Oh, okay.
A spell
So
tells you which die to roll for damage and whether to add any modifiers.
2d6 plus proficiency
No,
plus.
for damage, proficiency doesn't come into play. It's just
Okay.
just
So it's
pure
just
strength.
and then plus the barbarian reckless attack, which is a +2, so it's +4, +2, plus. So it's a 6.
Yep.
So he's gonna roll, and he automatically kills the guy because he gets 15. So one bowman.
Wait, why is it 3 plus 6?
Because it's the great sword that he's
Oh,
using
it's
is a
2d6. Yeah, that
Yeah.
thing's probably a
It's
monster
a big
when it comes
weapon.
down.
It's a big weapon, and it's a small bad guy.
Yeah.
So when he hits, he really hits.
He's been cut down.
Okay. So this guy is dead. Okay. The one down. Next up is one of the dead guys.
Sure.
And then the other is the other archer at the top. And he's all just like, well, saw my buddy get a hit on this guy with the armor. I'm going to do that too. He's going to attack you, Dorn, with a 1d6 plus, 1d20 plus 4. He misses, I'm assuming.
Yes.
So again, these archers aren't the best. Maybe they're using longbows and they're goblins, so it's not working out to their advantage.
My bow is 3 times my size.
Exactly. So now it is Dorn's turn.
All right. As my bonus action, I'm going to yell at Lindahl to move, or ask Lindahl to move closer to the cart because that goblin is around there somewhere, and nobody's currently protecting the cart. And he's the closest one. That and the dwarf.
Yeah, the dwarf, who you don't really know her name.
Sleeping Beauty.
Yeah, you can yell Sleeping Beauty. You can yell to Lyndall as well. You're not really sure that she plans on helping out anymore. She might be heading back there anyway.
Yeah.
But, yep, your bonus action has occurred.
And now I'm going to try to move over here, take this guy out.
Okay. Yep. So you are there.
And with the Mightiest here, bring down my sword upon his head.
Yep.
Nope.
So it's your long sword.
Nope. Fucking fantastic rolls.
And you even gave this. You added your strength proficiency,
Yep.
right?
Strength is 18, so +4, and proficiency is +2.
Okay, so you miss.
I miss.
The crazy part about this miss is, though, like, since he's next to the horse, you actually stab the horse.
Sweet.
It's already dead. And you
Die some more. Die.
kind of see the druid who just woke up, like, glare at you. She's pissed. It's like, why would you desecrate the dead? Aren't you trying to become a paladin? I'm going back to the card. Okay. So now it's Lyndall's turn.
Okay.
So you had been yelled at just before you saw this guy attack, again, unsuccessfully, and stab a horse to go protect the cart. You're not sure if that's the best idea at this moment, though, considering you haven't seen him hit anything but air, the ground, and a dead horse that was already there.
Eventually, I'm going to get to him.
Well,
So what's the plan, Dad? Hey guys, don't tell Susie I'm about to drink her soda.
My soda back. I heard you. You're the worst.
I will go partly there.
It's going bad.
It hasn't even been opened.
So I'm going to move over to here.
Okay. Here?
Yep.
Okay.
And then
Yep. He no longer has cover.
okay. And I will shoot my short bow at him.
Yep. So it's actually a D20 plus 6 for you as well.
Okay.
Not D20 plus 4 or whatever you had been using before.
That just sounds crazy.
What?
Adding the proficiency bonus and
That's what I'm saying. It
Yeah.
seems really weird.
it just
But you know what?
it's what
It's fine.
yeah, it's what the player's manual says. Obviously it's up to you, but
Yeah, no, listen, if
Well, I only got a 12.
yeah, you missed.
hey, you did the same thing I did. You hit the horse.
Yeah, and the funny part is, like, he hit the horse about 6 inches away from your hands because you're still stabbing into the horse as this happens. And this is now the, like, 4th arrow that's whizzed by very close to you. And you're like, I told you to go to the cart.
Got as far to the cart as I could. So.
Since you were yelled at to go protect the cart, would you like to make a bonus action of a perception check to see if you can figure out where the last guy is?
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Okay, so just roll a d20. Add your perception, which is, I want to say 3, 4? I can't remember. Plus 2. So d20 plus 2.
Okay. That should help me see something.
Hang on just a second. You got a 17. Yeah, you know exactly where he is. He's about 25 feet away from you to the right, and he will appear on the map now. Do you see him?
Yep.
That guy, right? Okay. Yep.
Right. Yeah. So, since it is Sleeping Beauty's turn, she's going back to the cart to quote unquote guard it. And that's it. Nothing more. So it is now the guy next to the horse, and he's going to attack Dorn again. And he's going to do a d20 plus 4 with his rapier. And he got a 13.
Nope.
No, and he misses, and he stabs the horse. The horse is like just beef jerky.
Yep.
Horse jerky.
He's going to take his bonus action to disengage. And he's going to move 1, 2, 3, 4. Because the horses are in his way, he can only get that far away. Because he's small and he couldn't climb over the horses, so he had to go around the long way. So he's trying to run away. It's not working very well. The next guy is the goblin, which is yeah. Okay, so he is going to actually attack Lindell and move right into range with you because he sees that you've got the bow. He's like, you know what? I'm going to get in there close where he won't be able to shoot that devastating bow at me. He rolled a 1, completely missing with his rapier.
Whoa.
So Linville is basically like over here fighting like Drizzt Do'Urden, you know, the best of the best rogues. Like, you realize it's a goblin and he's not the best, but like Linville makes it look good. He's a performer. And he saw this attack coming because he already knew the guy was there. This guy was coming to sneak up on him, trying to mess with him. And Linville, he did a reverse matador move where his back was turned to the goblin, but he knew exactly where he was. And the goblin came rushing and stabbing in, and Linville just kind of moved to the right, his flowing performer's cape acting like the matador's red cape, right? And the goblin just rushes through it and trips and falls on the ground. So the goblin is currently prone, which means you get advantage to hit him.
Which means
going
stabby.
He is also the goblin that was first hit, if we remember, with the 5 damage and was bloodied. So, just saying.
Yep.
It is now the barbarian's turn. He is going to rush at the guy next to the horse. And he's going to go there. And he's going to attack with, that's the D20 plus 6, right? Because of his strength. And he hits. So then he gets a rage, 2d6 plus 6. 8.
Wow, you rolled 2 ones.
What? Yeah, but he still
I
got
know.
an 8 because he's 6. Cleaves this guy, basically takes his shoulder off. So now you've got one goblin standing, one goblin lying down on the
You
ground.
X'd out the wrong person.
Whatever. I feel like I should X him out too. Okay, got it. Thank you. Okay. Barbarian doesn't have any additional moves, so he just stops there. Last goblin, still with his short bow, just saw his friend get cut down. He's going to make a d20 plus 4 from right there with his short bow at the barbarian. And he absolutely hits him. Then he gets I think it's a d6. Sorry, I think it's the d6 plus 2. Damage. Yep, d6 plus 2 piercing, so it's going to be halved. So he rolled a 1. So it's going to only be 1 damage. Okay. At the end of his turn, though, he's going to use his bonus action to hide. So if at this time, Dorn, it's your turn, you know that there's a guy injured and prone across the map. You know that the cart is being guarded by a sleeping dwarf. You know that the barbarian is kind of hurt. And you know that a guy just hid into the bushes. What do you do?
Well, I'm not worried about the prone guy, because I'm pretty sure he's going to be taken out pretty quickly.
Yep.
Can I make a perception check to see if I can find out where that guy
Absolutely.
hid?
Roll that d20 plus perception.
Perception, which I'm proficient in, so I get +2, and it's wisdom-based stats, so I get +2 there as well. So +4. Come on, roll. Fucking fantastically low rolls today.
Yeah, but what you realize is the goblin didn't really get very far. He literally just tried to duck into the bushes. So you do see him.
Okay.
Right back where he was.
Well then, I am going to go and I guess right here, to the left of him, and try to stab his ass.
To the, like here?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
26. Great team, go!
Oh, yeah.
Hooray!
You got him. You got him.
And this is a 1d8 +4. Smack him for 8 damage.
And he is dead. 1 shot, 1 kill. You were just warming up.
Just
right?
had to stretch. Just had to.
You were just like swinging your sword around, like, you were just trying to see how everybody else was doing. Okay, so that guy's dead. Linval, it's your turn, Lindal.
Okay. Now, since I'm next to this guy, do I get a sneak attack bonus?
No, but you do get advantage on your dice throw. So roll d20 plus, what was it, 6?
Well, I'm going to do a rapier.
Right. So it's still the same though, because you're using your finesse weapon, which is dexterity based.
Okay.
So you're putting away your short bow, or you're dropping it on the ground. I'm assuming like in a flourish, like you probably did this all at the same time while the guy was running at you. You kind of like, you threw your cape out wide, you sidestepped to the left, he tripped and fell through the cape as you tripped him with the bow because you knew you weren't going to use it anymore. So like you kind of threw it at his feet, he tripped, fell underneath your cape, all at the same motion. You pull out your rapier. It's just, it's funny. It's this really thin but beautiful sword, one that, like, if you've seen Game of Thrones, it's what the little girl uses, right? Like when she's learning to fight, because it's so little and you're little. So what do you do?
Okay. So I get a 1d plus 6.
No. So you do d20 plus 6.
Yeah.
So roll that once. Yep, you hit him. So you don't even need to roll twice. So advantage would be like if you rolled a 1 and you failed that first throw, then your advantage would give you an option to roll a second throw.
Okay.
So now you roll your attack, which is I want to say it's a D20. D8 maybe?
Yeah, rapier is a D8.
Yeah, so D8 plus 2.
Ah, very good.
No,
Yeah,
that's a
you
roll.
only needed you actually didn't need to roll to kill him because he was only at 2 health points anyway. He is dead.
Yay.
Okay, very good. So all of them are dead. So now what would you guys like to do?
I think the first thing we should do is tend to any wounds, if they are life threatening, and move these damn horses off the goddamn path.
Okay.
Sounds good. How do we do that?
Well, so you go over to the horses, right?
Yeah.
Why don't you guys roll perception?
Got a D20 plus 2.
Yeah, D20 plus your perception bonus, which I think is a plus 2 for you. Yeah, so Dorn is trying to move the horses. And Lindell walks over and says, I recognize those horses. Those are the horses of Gundar Rock Breaker
Oh, yeah.
and Rock Seeker and his warrior friend, Sildar Hallwinter. So now what do you want to do from here now?
Oh, that's not good.
Yeah, but, I think we're in okay shape because he had a couple of guys there and he probably ended up fighting all 6 of those guys that we were fighting.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Okay. So there were 2 of them,
yeah.
not a bunch of them,
A bunch
and
of
both of their horses are dead in front of you.
Right,
And the goblins were all still alive.
right. So I would say let's get ourselves moved to what's it?
Well, if these goblins attacked them and there weren't more goblins, their bodies and or survivors may be in the immediate area.
Okay. So would you like to do an investigation check?
Absolutely.
All right. So that would basically just be perception again.
Well, there's an actual skill
Is there
for investigation.
investigation?
So it's
Ah,
just my proficiency
perfect.
bonus, so it's plus.
Yeah, hon. Yeah. Okay.
Hey, look at that! More shitty rolls. All right. I apparently don't know nothing about nothing.
Okay. Dad, do you want to roll another D20?
For the investigation.
Yeah, it's going to be for you plus 2.
That's good. Okay. Great.
Okay. So, well, you realize that there's a bunch of feathers, black feathered arrows sticking out of the horses. The saddlebags have been looted, and nearby lies an empty map case. The last goblin that you had slain, you realize now that he wasn't actually dead and that he took a potion and is starting to run off.
Hmm.
He may have the stuff.
Yeah.
You may have the stuff is right. So you see the general direction in which he runs. Would you like to chase him directly, or would you like to look around here more, or would you like to continue along the road because you still have this cart? What's the plan?
What do you say, Marty? Chase him?
I can give chase while you try to take shots at him.
Okay.
Okay.
And hopefully not
So-
lose him.
He does move off towards this way. He no longer has the X on him. So there's not really any initiative here because he's running, so you guys can do what you want. So why don't you roll an attack if you're going to shoot him?
Okay.
It's a D20 plus 6 with your short bow. Yep, you hit him. So since he was so low anyway, he gets tripped up again and is knocked unconscious. You're able to go over and speak with him to figure out where he was going or in that area. So do either of you speak Goblin?
Nope.
Okay. See, the Dragonborn, however, does, and he terrifies the Goblin enough in order to get him to sort of point you in the right direction of where your friends were taken. So now you have a decision to make. You've got this Goblin tied up. He's on the cart now with Sleeping Beauty. You're all gathered around. Do you loot the bodies?
Yes.
Okay. So roll another investigation. So for Dad, it's a +2. Martiu is +0, I believe.
No, it's +2.
Oh, it's +2 proficiency
Yeah.
as well? Okay. Got it. So a D20 +2. Okay. So you find a few gold pieces, and you find a trail as well. So nothing, you realize that the saddlebags were gone. You realize that what's in the saddlebags is gone, and there must have been more goblins here, and that they took your friends. When you find the goblin trail, you do see human and dwarven footprints as well as goblin footprints.
Mm-hmm.
So you understand what has happened. Your employer and his friend have been taken hostage by the goblins. And you understand that there probably had to be a bunch of goblins in order to do this. So I will figure out what the loot is that you got off them. It's really not a lot. It's probably a couple silver, maybe 1 or 2 gold, and some copper, since there was only 4 of them left here. And they were basically just a scouting party. They were trying to take your wagon.
Mm-hmm.
So what is your next step? And I think we're going to end for now, but what do you guys think you're going to do? Do you feel that you will go directly after them down the Goblin Trail, or do you believe that you would head to Phandelver and then try to come back towards the Goblin Trail?
How far from Phandelver are we?
You're about a half a day's rest. So, or not rest. You're about a half a day onto the Tribor Trail. So if we're looking back at the other map, okay, we are you're about 3 days into your journey. And and it takes about 4 days. So you're probably half a day. If you were to ride flat out on the horses and on the carriage, you would be able to get to Phandelver by nightfall.
Can we heal ourselves some before going on?
Yeah, so you can take a short rest, which would heal you a certain amount of hit points that you would just roll a dice, and that hit die would be added to you. And then at night, or whenever you take a long rest, which is 8-hour rest, you would then heal the rest of the way. So I assume you guys want to take a short rest now?
Yeah, I think we should be...
At least 15 minutes just to kind of...
Yeah, we could do that. However, I think and Mundell can give me their opinion as well. I don't know this area. I don't know what other creatures may be lurking in that direction of where the bodies were dragged or taken. And we know that there's probably a lot more of them. So we should probably go to Phandelver and get, first of all, drop off the cart, which is our charge, and get more information about the area to maybe then pursue after our employer.
What about the possibility of moving back to the main road and taking our rest there so we get ourselves all healed up and then head to Phandelver?
Well, are you even damaged?
I'm not. They are.
Well, Dorn took what? Like 4 points?
4 points damage, yeah. I'm fine.
Yeah, you'd probably heal that in a short rest anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, you'd heal most of it up.
Yeah.
As far as the druid can also heal a little bit, so she can heal the Dragonborn up a bit. So, I mean, going backwards is just going to take a lot longer and probably...
Yeah, but we're really not far from the main road. And the main road apparently seems fairly safe.
Yeah, but I would say you're about halfway in between the main road and the next trail. You're a little bit further than the green that they had previously drawn. You're probably like here. So you're it's a half day to get back here.
Yeah.
And it's about a half day to get to Phandelver. So it's a half day either way.
Yeah.
It'll be nightfall by the time you get to Phandelver. It'll be nightfall by the time you get back to the road. So it's equidistant. I know the map kind of shows it a little bit differently, so maybe it's like here. I don't know.
Okay. Well, take a short rest and then push on.
I think that would be the smartest thing to do. Not with so many unknowns, whether or not maybe they escaped and made their way back to Phandelver. But either way, right. I don't feel comfortable leaving the cart just behind while we go chase after them, considering it's not our property.
Right.
Yep, and you definitely won't get paid if you don't have that.
Not that at this point payment is of concern, given the fact that we won't get paid without the employer either. So,
well, as you say that, the Dragonborn comes over to you and just growls at you and says, "Payment first." So he wants to get paid. And you remember that it's not Gundar that's going to pay you. It's actually the store in Phandelver who's going to pay you when you get there. So whether you have him or not, you will get paid the 10 gold.
Right. Well, then
after that, you can figure out what you need.
We can use the trip there as our short rest.
Well, you have to take a short rest for 15 minutes, heal up your couple points, and then you go, and you'll get there half a day later, 6 or 7
Drop off the cart, get paid. Maybe
Exactly.
if we have to, try and find some supplies, information, and then head out and try and find this guy.
Okay. So we will pick up there then next time. I got to go to volleyball now, and kind of ended right when I was hoping it would, around 1:30. So hopefully we can figure out how to get these two other guys to be in here. I think Paul will be pretty easy. He went away and didn't bring his laptop with him accidentally. So next time we'll just have them pick up with the party and go from there.
Sounds good.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
So